Richmond County and the Northern Neck. This tornado-warned storm is what we're watching. Area of rotation, we look at the velocity to see if we have any greens and reds that are tightly together, and that signifies where we could potentially have that rotating storm that could produce a tornado. So we'll watch this closely. The latest information again has it located over Sharps near Robley, and again, it's only moving to the east at 5 miles per hour. So this is a very slow moving storm. You can see the velocity picture here showing a little bit of some rotation. We don't have confirmation that this has touched the ground, but it is capable of perhaps doing so. And it looks like also areas that need to get into their safe place would include Downing and also Tidewater. So this is Richmond County. This is the Northern Neck. Make sure you are getting into your safe place. If you have the First Alert weather app, you may have got this notification on your phone with this tornado warning, and we'll watch this very closely. I do also have my eyes on a couple of other areas that I want to point out. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that is ongoing here. This is in the northeastern corner of Prince George County. Also includes the easternmost side of Charles City County. James City and northern Surrey County also included within this severe thunderstorm warning. This storm has not shown signs at this point of rotating, but it is capable of producing wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. So we'll watch this closely. It is also moving fairly slowly, 10 to 15 miles per hour. This severe thunderstorm is going to go until 4 o'clock this afternoon. So I'll watch that storm. Putting a tracker on it here takes it closer to Centerville by 3:41, and then again it'll make its way closer to Williamsburg, I would say, by about before the 4 o'clock hour. Again, it's moving fairly slowly. A lot of lightning here, a lot of very heavy rain, and that storm is capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I also have my eye on this area. This is not a warning, but this is, I'm going to widen out the picture here. It's just an area that I've been watching that's showing some signs that it wants to rotate. It is a strong storm. We'll put the radar picture back on. This would be the easternmost side of King and Queen County entering Middlesex County in the Middle Peninsula. So this is what I'm watching here. It's not warned, just something I'm keeping a close eye on. A lot of very heavy rain, and when we look at the velocity to see if there's any rotation, notice that little couplet here. So we'll watch to see if that holds together. Again, this also moving very slowly, but heads up to you if you are in Middlesex County. I would say Saluda, just your first alert. We'll watch this. Hopefully it loses this little bit of a rotation here, and you're just going to see some heavy rain out of this as it makes its way. And look at that, we have a warning. So let's see the latest information with this. That couplet is, let's query this with the latest information. So again, this would be King and Queen County that I was watching, Middlesex County, and it looks like a little sliver here of the northwestern side of Gloucester County. So this warning, we'll query it to see the latest information with this. Goes until 4 o'clock. So again, if you are in these areas, it is the really centralmost part, I would say that it's east of Shanghai. So it's central, but it's eastern King and Queen County. It's moving to the east here, and it's going to make its way, this area of rotation here, this couplet is going to move to the east into Middlesex County. So let me get the latest details with this tornado warned storm that we have that is just to the south of the second tornado warning that we're also tracking. So this warning goes for another 29 minutes. Again, it's impacting Middlesex County. This would be in the Middle Peninsula. Goes until 4 o'clock. We are looking at mainly rural areas of the northwestern part of Gloucester County. I have the southwestern side of Middlesex County. Saluda, though, you are certainly in the path of this storm, and it looks like areas that it will be near will be Mascot and Warner. So if you are in this red box here, this tornado warning, this is the latest tornado warned storm. King and Queen County, you may have gotten an alert on your phone here. This is to the east of Shanghai, and I'll zoom in closer here, and it'll move into Middlesex County, and let's see how fast this one's moving. East at 10. So these are very slow moving storms. They're going to dump a lot of very heavy rain contained with them as well. And it looks like it'll be near West Point, and it's near Churchview, and it's moving to the east at 10. So very slow moving storm. Let's zoom in closer here with this second tornado warned storm. Moving to the east at 10 miles per hour, still showing a decent couplet here. This is Mascot. There's your area of rotation, so it's just to the south of Mascot. Moving eastward, so it's just about to cross the county line here and move into Middlesex County. So we'll watch for the latest radar scan to give us the latest data to see if this area of rotation holds together, and it does, unfortunately. So if you're in the path of this storm, if you are in Mascot, if you are in Middlesex County, Warner, if you are along Route 17 in Middlesex County, I need to make sure that you're in your safe place. If you know of anyone, it's a hot day, you might have some people outside enjoying some sunshine, unaware that this storm is coming. I would give them a text, give them a phone call. Maybe you have friends and family in Warner. This is in Middlesex County. Maybe they're out enjoying the water or the river out this way. So just make sure that they are heading inside, getting into their safe place. Again, this warning goes until 4 o'clock. So let's go back to the big picture here. See the other tornado warned storm. We'll zoom in back closer to that one. This was again in Richmond County here. Try that again. So this is in the northern neck. This is the other area of rotation that still has a decent couplet, a little bit of brightness here. So that would be the area we are most concerned of. The area of rotation is just to the south of Farnham and really between Downings and Farnham. So if you're in Robley, I need you to get into your safe place. Watching this, hopefully we can lose that circulation within this thunderstorm here, but there is that potential that we could have a tornado drop out of this thunderstorm. So you want to make sure we treat it as such. You want to make sure you're heading into the interior-most portion of your home, away from windows. If you don't have a basement, make sure you're getting into a closet perhaps, or a bathroom, a hallway, whatever you have to stay safe. Grab some pillows, some blankets. This warning goes until 3:45, and again, this one was moving really slow, only to the east at 5 miles per hour. So we're at 3:33. We'll watch this closely, see if we can lose that rotation as it slowly makes its way between Farnham and Downing. That's the area we're watching. Looks like the worst part of this storm is just to the north of Ivandale, and it's going to go very close to Robley, between Mulch and Robley. This is in Richmond County here, the easternmost side of Richmond County. This is Northumberland County. So if you're in the easternmost side of Northumberland County, just your first alert. We are watching this storm back to your west. If it does hold together, we will certainly update you there, but here's where we're watching. Again, that's Richmond County. Warning goes until 3:45. Let's go to the second warning. Look at the latest one, and it is not slowing down or not losing those characteristics of rotation. So again, this is Mascot here. This was King and Queen County. This is Middlesex County. Here we are, Route 17. Here's Warner, here's Saluda, if you're familiar with the Middle Peninsula. We have the Rappahannock here. We've got Saluda here, and that's the area that we would be most concerned of. Haven't seen any reports yet, Khalil, that we've had any sort of
any storm
confirmation?
Reports, any confirmation? I'm going to look at working on trying to find if we do have any reports from the immediate area. So far, no reports outside of downed trees from earlier this morning. So no storm reports from these storms just yet.
All right, thank you, Khalil, for that. Just keep a close eye on and let me know if you do see something. This, again, second warning, it's for Gloucester County, and it's just about out of King and Queen County. So this is the county line of King and Queen heading into Gloucester County, or heading into Middlesex County, rather. This is the northwestern corner of Gloucester. This is Middlesex. So this is entering the Middle Peninsula, this particular area of rotation. Again, it goes until 4 o'clock. We'll watch these scans as we get a new radar beam that circles around from the radar, and every time it does that, we get new data. So that shows us, does this storm maybe lose some of those rotation characteristics, but we're still seeing some brightness with this. So at the very least, we're seeing damaging wind gust potential, and that rotation is there that we could get a potential tornado. So if you are in the Middlesex County, in the Middle Peninsula, the northwestern corner of Gloucester County, your phone also may have gone off for this tornado warning. The area, or the couplet we're watching here, is just about to make its way to the east of Mascot, and it is moving ever so slowly. So This is not going to race by any means, so make sure you're heading into your safe place. This is, again, between Warner and Saluda. I think the storm is going to make its way to the east there. Here's Urbana. If you're familiar with Urbana, Christ Church is not included in this warning in Middlesex County, but you would be next in line after Saluda with the potential for some very heavy rain. At this point, I wouldn't even say potential. You're definitely going to see some rain out of this. And there's the radar signature there. Almost a classic hook whenever you look at the radar site. That area right here would be where we see that rotation. So I would say the worst part of this storm would be now just to the east of Mascot. Here we are in Warner. Here's Route 17. So if you are in this area and you are in this red box, please make sure you're getting into your safe place. Just make sure you're getting away from windows. Make sure that you are getting into the interiormost portion of your home, bathroom. Take some pillows, take some blankets, whatever you have to stay safe here. So that is the one of two that we are watching tornado warnings. We'll widen out the picture here if you are just tuning in. We have a day today where we are watching not only the potential for tornadoes, but we also have severe thunderstorms as well. And really any storm that does develop today is going to have that potential for it to rotate, especially if you're along and north of I-64. That's where we have a tornado watch in effect until 10 tonight. And then if you are south of I-64, that's where we have a severe thunderstorm watch until 10. But right now, the severe warned storms and tornado warned storms are east of I-95. If you're tuning in and you're west of I-95, we are tracking a couple of showers and thunderstorms now. We have one shower and thunderstorm entering Fluvanna County. We also have some activity in northern Amelia County, but these three areas, especially these two, are what we're going to focus on as we watch the, hopefully, storms lose this rotation. But we'll go again up towards the northern neck. It's just about making its way out of this tornado warned box right now. So maybe it's losing those characteristics. Again, it's moving very slowly to the east at 5 miles per hour. This is Richmond County. This is Mulch here. This is Robley. You can see some very heavy rain. And we'll go back to the velocity to check. Still seeing that brightness. It's not quite as bright as before. We'll see if this warning is extended. Maybe it won't be extended and we'll lose that couplet here, which would be great. I think this warning was until 3:45, yes. So we'll watch to see if this is expanded at the very least. We're looking at very heavy rain and we're also looking at damaging wind gusts. But this still concerns me just a little bit that there's some brightness there. So we are looking at...
So, Megan, they're going to expire the southeastern Richmond County tornado warning.
This is great. So this is the storm we're watching. Khalil just said that off camera here, we've got some information that they're going to expire this warning. So if you are watching in southern Richmond County, the warning goes until 3:45. It is going to expire early. So you are just going to be looking at very heavy rain moving into and really between Mulch and Robley, and then that's going to enter into Northumberland County. Now this second tornado warned storm, we'll focus more on this one. This still has some decent signs of a signature here, of a little hook, and that's the second tornado warned storm that we're watching. It looks like it's just about now out of King and Queen County, so I know the warning includes it, but I would say at Middlesex County, you are just to the south of Warner here. That's where we're looking at the rotation being the strongest, or where we could potentially see a tornado. Again, we don't have confirmation that one has reached the ground, but this is a situation where this rotating supercell really could produce a tornado. So this is Route 17. We have Warner, we have Saluda, here's Urbana. This is Christ Church. So that is the area we're watching, this little notch here. We'll go back to the velocity picture. Still seeing some brightness. I don't think it's quite as bright as what it was when it was initially warned. I think that goes until 4 o'clock. And again, it's moving very slowly to the east at about 10 miles per hour. So these things aren't going to move very quickly. So you have time to get into your safe place. Latest run of that radar scan in Middlesex County still has that little bit of a notch as it's working its way closer to Saluda. And I am going to send it over to Khalil, and he'll give you the latest on what he's been watching behind the scenes. Khalil?
Yeah, thanks, Megan. That storm that we were tracking earlier up towards the north, towards Richmond County, that has thankfully lost its steam here, but we're still going to be monitoring this storm as it moves on towards Saluda, and this is going to be moving through the region. Again, very slow. That's just been the nature of these tornado-warned storms so far today. They've been moving anywhere between 5 to around 10 miles per hour, but nonetheless, still a dangerous storm with this tornado warning here. Still has somewhat of a characteristic of these of a hook echo, but we're going to put the storm relative velocity here. I'm going to pop off screen really quickly and again show you that we do have the potential, or still have just a little bit of a rotation, as we're going to zoom back out really quickly here, so that we do have a couple of thunderstorm warnings, and we do have this severe thunderstorm, or rather tornado warned storm warning that's going to be allowed to expire at around 3:45 up towards Richmond County, but still looking at towards portions of the King and Queen County on into Middlesex County. That's where we're still going to be monitoring this storm, as we're going to pop up the buttons once again and zoom on in closer here to Richmond, rather the much of the area, as we continue on into the rest of the afternoon here. This is probably our second and third tornado warned storms of the day so far, as we're going to pop up the buttons and look even closer towards the Middle Peninsula as well as Northern Neck here. Going to zoom on in really quickly here. Still, let's see, these storms are still moving towards the east rather slowly. Going to get rid of that box here. Going to pop up the buttons and zoom back out really quickly. Again, these storms are moving anywhere between 5 to around 10 miles per hour. But nonetheless, we're still dealing with some heavy rain and the potential for seeing a tornado. These storms have been radar warned. No indication of a confirmed funnel cloud or touchdown from these storms. But we're going to pop up the storm relative velocity and show you that there's still a bit of a couplet there, still showing some signs of rotation for the storms as it moves off towards the east. So if you're on Route 17 near the Rappahannock River, this is moving due east at, was it around 5 to 10 miles per hour, Megan? About 5 to 10 miles per hour. So we're going to pop up the squall tool. First, we're going to pan off towards the east and time things out as we head on into the bottom of the 3 o'clock hour here. Slow moving storms again have been the characteristic this afternoon, as we see. Going to redo that one more time. All right, there we go. Moving anywhere between 5 to around 10 miles per hour. There we go. So if you are in No Head Bottom, 346 is when you can expect this storm on your doorstep. So you should already be in your safe space. St. Clair Walker Middle School, if you're around there, make sure you're in your safe space. Harmony Village at around 350. 406 at Lock Lyles, and the North Bridge at around 411. This is when we're anticipating this slow-moving storm to reach your area as we head on into the bottom of the 3 o'clock hour. Now we're going to clear this off one more time and then put this in motion. First, going to zoom on out a little, somewhat just a little bit, and just show you that this has had a bit of a history of showing of some rotation. So we're going to loop it for you right here. Again, the storm, you can see, it has not moved that much over the past hour. So these are some very slow moving storms. We can see the close proximity of the reds and yellows indicating that there is some rotation, and the brighter colors indicating some more intense rotation for these storms. So that's what we're mostly concerned about as we head further on into the afternoon and into the evening, as we have a severe thunderstorm watch for areas mainly to the south of I-64 and a tornado watch for areas mainly to the north of I-64. But for the most part, we've seen these rotating storms off towards the Middle Peninsula as well as Northern Neck as we head on into the afternoon and further on into the evening. This particular storm still tornado warned, as we are going to look at the radar once again. Again, it's heading on into Saluda very slowly at around 5 to around 10 miles per hour. Going to zoom in once again at this heavy storm have not really seen much or many signs of this dropping any hail, but we're going to pop up the hail tool and see if there's any hail associated with this particular storm. It seems like, yeah, there has been some history of some hail here besides some heavy rain as well as potential for a tornado. So if you are in the path of the storm as it continues to move on towards the east, so Saluda along Route 17 and Route 33 towards Cooper, towards the Rappahannock River, this is the perfect time that you will want to head on into your safe space. So an internal room or even a basement, if you have one, will be the best to protect you from any of the intense winds as that tornado approaches, or at least the potential tornado. Gonna jump up again, watch the radar or pop up the radar once again. We have some heavy rain essentially falling along or at least near Saluda. You can see the most intense part of the storm is still off towards the east of Saluda here, going to be moving on into Cooper relatively soon. And this storm is moving anywhere between 5 to around 10 miles per hour this afternoon. Again, we're going to look at the storm relative velocity and see if we have a bit of a couple. It doesn't really look as intense as it once was just a few scans ago. The reds have kind of diminished in terms of the brightness as well as the greens. As we're going to look at the loop once again and show you this kind of slow moving storm here. And I'm first then going to pan off towards the west now and show that it seems as though the rotation for this particular storm is starting to die down somewhat. Megan, is there anything you're noticing with this particular storm?
No, it's just moving very slowly.
Just very slowly still? Okay.
Very slowly, and it still has some broad rotation. I don't think it's quite as tight as before, so hopefully maybe it's losing some of that rotation.
Yeah, hopefully they'll drop this warning just as they did with the earlier warned storms too. But nonetheless, if you are in the path of the storm, make sure you are heading to your safe space. So that, again, that's a basement or interior room. As we're continuing on this first alert weather day, we could potentially see some more severe storms in this evening. There's a severe thunderstorm watch to the south of us. And is there anything else you're noticing around the region, Megan, as well?
That would be our only main tornado warned storm. There's several thunderstorms that are developing, but that would be the biggest of note at this point.
Yes, we just have this severe tornado warning storm that's moving on through Middlesex County. We also have this severe thunderstorm warning down towards Williamsburg. And we're going to pop up the query on that really quickly and get back to that tornado warning storm in just a moment. But this particular storm moving on through parts of Charles City, Surrey County, as well as Surrey County, this is going to be lasting for at least another 11 minutes. So if you are in the path of this particular storm as it moves towards the east, make sure you are also taking cover once as well. But we're still going to be going back to this storm once we clear this all off and monitor that slow moving storm through parts of Middlesex County. Again, we have a tornado watch for areas mainly to the north of I-64 as we get into the evening. That's going to last until 10 o'clock. Going to zoom on in and take another look at the storm and see if it still has a tight rotation once again. Putting down plenty of rain as we head on into the region. In fact, let's take a quick look at some of the rain rates and see exactly how this storm is doing in terms of rain. So looking at some pretty intense rainfall. Going to pop up going to see exactly how much rain this is putting down from right particularly here. So just around 1.5 inches of rain. So we'll want to probably look out for some localized flooding in this area if you are in the path of the storm, or at least where the rain is the most intense. But again, this is a tornado warned storm, and this looks as though that this rotation's even weaker now. So hopefully we should see this tornado warning dropped in just a few moments time. But nonetheless, if you're still in the path of the storm, so Saluda and points off towards the east here, you're going to want to get to your safe space, again, interior building or lower level room with no windows attached to it, as this is moving anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour as we continue on through the rest of this afternoon. Megan, do you have any updates on this particular storm or anything of note?
There's no update with it. There's still a little bit of a notch there though when you look at the radar signature. So it's showing still broad rotation, but at this point,
so
we'll
yes,
see
still
how it goes the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, so still a little bit of a rotation here. So hopefully we'll see this not extended, but at the very least expired as we continue on into the evening here. Okay, here again, this is active warning. Going to pop up the tool here and see that this is still going to be active at the very least until 4 o'clock. So we got 9 more minutes with this storm to see if this gets extended further off towards the east into central Middlesex County as we continue on into the afternoon. But if you are in the path as this is moving anywhere between, again, 5 to around 10 miles per hour, make sure you are heading on into your safe space. So we'll time that, or at least use a squall tool to kind of time things out as we head on to 4 o'clock. All right, so Urbana at around 3:55 p.m. That's when this storm is going to be on your doorsteps. Christchurch at around 4:06, Cooper at around 4:12, and then 4:16 at no head bottom. Hopefully this storm doesn't get extended in terms of the radar warning, or rather warning, but nonetheless we're going to continue to track that as we get on into the bottom of the hour. Again, here's the radar. We're going to put that in motion once again and show you this is a slow moving storm. Hold on one moment. There we go. Again, this is anywhere, these storms have been moving anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour. So some of these areas where they have been seeing, heavy rain could see some localized flooding on the roadways, especially where there's some poor drainage around the region. As we head on into the 4 o'clock hour here, we're going to take another look at this rotation here. Still showing somewhat of a rotation signature here, but not as pronounced as it was earlier this hour. Again, if you're in the path of the storm as it moves on into the middle of Middlesex County, we're anticipating some heavy rain, some heavy winds, and let's take one more look at some of the hail tracker here. As this storm has had a history of dropping down some hail as well further off towards the west of here. We're going to pan off towards, again, parts of King and Queen into Middlesex County that has shown that has signed some hail. And do we have any other additional reports of storm damage or nothing? Nothing yet? Okay. Again, this tornado warned storm or tornado warning goes at least until 4 o'clock as we head on into the evening, or 4 o'clock into the afternoon. Again, this is for Middlesex County as we head on into the bottom of the hour. Like, do you wish to take over or? Okay, all right.
All right, let's pop up my graphic here. Let's start with a wide view here. I just want to let you know what we have going forward the rest of the evening. If you're just tuning in, you may have also gotten these alerts on your phones, or you see running on the bottom of the screen here. A lot of colors. If you are a county in the red, you are under the tornado watch. That means conditions are favorable. Whenever we see these thunderstorms develop as we go through or into this evening, they are going to have the potential to spin, and they could produce a tornado. So counties in red, just be mindful of this. Keep the First Alert Weather app with you throughout the remainder of the day today. We will keep you updated here as well all throughout the evening. The watch goes until 10. If you are a county that is highlighted in yellow here, that's the severe thunderstorm watch. So conditions not quite as favorable for spin, but favorable enough to produce damaging wind gusts. We could be looking at 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as well with any thunderstorms that do develop. So if you're a county in yellow, that watch goes until 10 o'clock this evening. So just keep that in mind. We will be watching these storms throughout the entire day today, and there's not really a whole lot going on. It is a hot summer day. It is humid. Most of us are looking quiet. But what we have noticed with the storms that have developed so far is they're moving very slowly. So they're slow-moving downpours. And they've also had that capability of some spin in the atmosphere, tapping into that, which is where we could end up seeing a tornado. Most of the severe activity has stayed east of I-95 right now. I do anticipate this radar picture to get a little busier as we head into the early evening hours. So just keep that in mind. It's pretty quiet for many of us now, but I think we're going to see some more activity moving forward. Just to recap here, if you're in northern Amelia County, this is just a strong area, really no thunder even, but some very heavy rain is moving slowly into Powhatan County there. And as we go into these storms that are over in the northern neck, just be mindful that we are watching the potential for some spin in the atmosphere. This one was a previously warned storm that is just about making its way out of Richmond County and moving into Northumberland County. This is just a rainmaker at this point, and that warning has expired there, not showing that tight couplet anymore. But this warning is what we've been watching, and you can see it's just now about to make its way out of the tornado warning box here, and we have not had any extension or note that they are going to expand this. So hopefully that means this rotation is broadened enough where it's not going to produce a tornado at this point. And right now the area we would be watching would be from Urbana to Cook's Corner, and that is in Middlesex County here. So Urbana, the heaviest rain is just about towards your east now. Cook's Corner, you're seeing the really light, you're right on the fringe here of some light to very heavy rain, and not seeing nearly as much rotation. So that is great news as we move forward. We don't want to see rotation. We really don't, but it is something we're going to be watching for, because that is what these storms are going to be capable of the rest of the evening, especially in these areas. And they're moving very slowly again, and they're moving to the east. So it is going to produce a lot of rain. Haven't seen any reports yet of hail contained with this. These are mainly just thunderstorms that are able to spin and thunderstorms that are able to produce strong to damaging wind gusts. And this is a new severe thunderstorm warning, but this is over into James City County now. Williamsburg is seeing the very heavy rain now. Just a couple of lightning strikes. These haven't really been electrified storms, meaning not a lot of lightning. This is more of a wind maker here, and these are tracking to the east. So this will impact areas like York, Newport News, and then down towards the southeastern corner of our state there. So looking at back into the northern neck, I've also been watching this thunderstorm, or really downpour. That would be in Westmoreland County. And this is what we're going to be doing all day today, is looking inside each one of these storms, because each one that does develop is going to have the potential to have some spin that could produce a tornado. And that's, again, conditions are favorable, and why we have that tornado watch. A watch means conditions are favorable. Could happen. Right now we're not seeing that, but we'll watch inside these storms all the rest of the evening. And this is in Westmoreland County. This was just to the south of Coles Point. A couple of Fridays ago we had a water spout that was off of Coles Point. So this area is just to the south of there. This is just a rainmaker at this point, and I've looked at the velocity on that, not seeing rotation as of now there. Again, it's very warm. This is certainly an atmosphere that's conducive. The sunshine certainly not helping either. It's like fuel to these storms. It can give them more energy, and unfortunately we don't need that. So we'll take one last look here at this tornado warned storm. It is not looking like the National Weather Service is going to extend this. So that's, they are going to expire it. Thank you very much. So we will go back to the wide view here and get ready to go back to regular programming. The guys in the back are okay with that. Let me know. We are looking at, again, several thunderstorms right now that are capable the rest of the afternoon to perhaps produce a tornado. So if one does start to show signs of rotation, we will break into programming and certainly keep you updated as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. That tornado watch is going to be in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. And I'll show that map one more time here. For the counties highlighted in red, you're under the tornado watch until 10, and then another reminder, if you are in the counties in yellow, that's the severe thunderstorm watch. So Khalil and I will be here the rest of the evening, and we will certainly keep you updated, not just on air, but we will have updates on our First Alert weather app. I hope you have a safe and great rest of your weekend.